Well, 1 Minute More is the latest tale from veteran criminal lawyer Robert Rotenberg. He's also an author, clearly. It's a fictionalized view of the G7 held in Toronto in 1988, and a tip that an assassin is making his way to the gathering of world leaders puts into place a heart-stopping tale of intrigue, politics, and mystery. Welcome, Robert Rotenberg, back to CP24 Breakfast. It's been a while since you've been here, but good to see you again, sir. How are you?
Great to see you, Nick. Good morning.
You've set the story in 1988, right before the G7 summit in Toronto. Why did you make the decision to set the story there? Was it a real-world experience or just a perfect sort of opportunity to sort of hinge the book around?
Well, you know, it was a great event in 1988. The world leaders were all here.
Yeah.
Reagan, Thatcher, Mitterrand, Mulroney. And the climax was at Hart House at University of Toronto, where I actually used to live.
Okay.
And right on the patio, in fact, there's a very famous photo here.
Yeah.
I can show you. It's a very famous photo of the world leaders there. So many years before, we'd been on the Quebec-Vermont border where there's this wonderful parade, July 4th parade. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if an assassin was on her way? You got it wrong. It's not him. It's her way to kill the G7. So I got a quick question for you. Take a quick look at the cover. Do you see her?
I hadn't seen that until you put it sideways. Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
So she's this mysterious woman.
Yeah.
And Ari Green, who's my main character in my other books, this is a prequel. So we get to see him back in 1988.
So what was that like? Was that a challenge? Because this is a character you've already well established in your several other books that you've written already, Robert.
Right.
To sort of go back and almost, not the origin story, but it's the first story now of Ari Green here. What kind of a challenge did that pose as an author?
It was wonderful because I got to kind of, think who was he? How did he first become a police officer? Nora Baring, who is another main character, the relationship between the two of them in the book. And now I've got many years between 1988 and 2009, the first book, to kind of recreate his story. My readers can see him with his father and his mother, who they didn't know about, and it's fun. It's really fun.
I really enjoyed the book because you don't have chapters. You have basically a time. It's almost like a clock ticking down.
Exactly.
And it really delivers the anticipation, and it really moves. It gets people turning the page.
Well, that's the idea. It starts with 75 hours and then 14 hours and 12 hours. And you know, for years I called the book Hart House. I couldn't figure out a name.
Yeah.
And then one day it just occurred to me, 1 minute more, which is, it's the countdown.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you know, Canadians write lots of mysteries and cozy mysteries, but it occurred to me the other day, we don't have a really good thriller. Like, why are all the thrillers? Why is Jason Bourne always in Europe?
Yes.
You know, what's wrong with Canada? We're a spectacular place.
And you like Toronto particularly as well, don't you? I mean, a lot of this book really is centered.
Well, that's where the climax is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it sounds to me like beyond this book, now that you've gone back and sort of written the early days of Ari Green, are there more books coming sort of to get us in between now?
Well, yeah, he's done some pretty extraordinary things, and he's got a whole world out there to explore. So I'm hoping to write more of his backstory and more of his future story about what's happening with him as a Toronto detective.
I don't know where you find the time, but clearly you have 1 minute more or more to write these books. Robert Rotenberg, a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much. Good luck with the book.